All right. There should be sound. Hopefully you can hear me. My sound is working. I can see several of you on YouTube. I'm not seeing anybody on the Facebook channel, but anyway, my name is Maureen Taylor. I'm the photo detective. Today, I've never done anything like this before, quite like this, which is a sort of a round table. I've invited permanent.org, forever.com, and Vivid-Pix.com to talk about their product. This all comes out of our problem. And the problem is we've had two companies, MemoryWeb and FileShadow, end their photo organizing platform in the last month. And, good people work for MemoryWeb and FileShadow, but, the business really changes and they've not been able to maintain what they had. The costs were prohibitive in the case of MemoryWeb, and I think FileShadow was looking for a buyer. Now on MemoryWeb, you can download your images until March 17th. You know me as the photo detective. You're on my YouTube channel and my Facebook page, but also you may not know that I was chair of the SaveMetadata.org group for 3 years. And now the present chair is Rick Voigt, which one of the reasons that Vivid-Pix is coming. You may know also, I've been putting this out in my newsletter, in my Substack, on Facebook, that after, I'm in the same boat as everybody else, right? I have thousands of photographs on MemoryWeb with metadata. And so when I export them, the metadata is there. But what we tried to educate everyone about when we were doing educational programming through Save Metadata was that there is a difference between reading, writing, editing, and exporting data. So on MemoryWeb and FileShadow, you could read, you could write, you could edit, and you can export the metadata. The problem is when you take that information and try to access it in another platform. When we worked together, and there were lots of us in this group on SaveMetadata.org, talking about which fields would be the best fields to use, like a description, a people. There are lots of fields, IPTC fields and other fields that we could have chosen. We chose the ones that we thought would work best. And we came up with some standards that are now on the website. And so MemoryWeb used some IPTC fields, and a lot of other companies use different IPT fields. And that's where the problem comes in. Just because they're all IPTC fields does not mean that anyone else can read them. So I did a test of several different platforms. I'm on a Mac. And so I used Mac Preview. I could read all the metadata. It was all there, not a problem. So I can, I think, copy and paste that into another program. I tested Google Photos. I tested Permanent. I tested Flickr, Vivid-Pix Restore, Mylio, and Family Search. And, there have been a lot, and Adobe Bridge. So Adobe Bridge reads all of the metadata as well. Mylio reads the metadata as well. And Vivid-Pix Restore, which is an image enhancement program, actually reads all the metadata as well. So there are ways for you to read that metadata and then copy and paste it into another platform. You decide. So one of the things we ran into with the Save Metadata group is we tried really hard for years to get industry leaders, and there were industry leaders in the group, of course, but other industry leaders interested in adapting our standards. Because the key word here is portability. Can you move all of the information that you have entered once into another platform, have them read it so you don't have to start over, which is something we're all dealing with right now. There's a lot of anger about MemoryWeb. There's a lot of anger about what they did and how they did. This is business. This happens. They follow the metadata standards that the Save Metadata group set up. It is sometimes expensive for companies to adopt what a volunteer organization recommends. But it does make a lot of common sense to have, some portability. And this is across all platforms. Imagine if you uploaded a photograph into your favorite genealogy website and they let you tag it with people and places and information. But then when you do that, when you export it, the information might be there, might not be there. Some of them don't let you do that. When you upload to a social media site, they strip all your metadata out. It's a legal thing. But imagine if you could save that information, that the program that you were using could then upload your photograph into another one and they could read it. There was a lot of talk about, well, I don't want to compete with this person or that company or that company. But really, it's common sense. We really want more metadata portability in this field, in the genealogy field. We do not want to lose all that information that we have painstakingly put in. Whether or not we go with a different photo organizer is not necessarily based on metadata. It's based on other things that companies offer. And that's why I had Vivid-Pix Restore, Permanent, and Forever on this call, because they all do things just a little bit differently. I would like, in a perfect world, everyone to use the same metadata standards, some standards, so that we have that portability. And then you get to choose which platform or website you want to work with based on the other offerings that they have. Everybody's a little bit different. But for me, the bottom line is the metadata. We have to be able to reach it. I entered in all of this information. You entered in all this information. I would like it visible. I would like to be able to add to it and export it and have it all there. Now, I went off and did these tests. It's all on my YouTube channel. It's in my playlist. So you'll see one called Metadata. It's Photo Detective. And these are just my little videos that I made quickly about reading the metadata. I did not talk about editing the metadata. I did not go into writing the metadata. And I especially didn't go into exporting the metadata. That's a whole nother set of YouTube videos, which maybe I could do, maybe not. But I will say that this little exercise I did for the last couple of weeks actually encouraged some of my followers to go off and do their own test. And in some cases, what they found was that they would upload it to a site and it would read the metadata and it was there. But then when they tried to export it, the new metadata that they had added did not export. So that's an issue. I mean, as long as you stay within the same platform and that platform is going to last for a really long time, then maybe that metadata will continue to be readable. But in the changing photo marketplace, and that is actually the subject of my podcast this coming Sunday with Rick Voigt, we've been around a long time. In fact, Rick and I discovered that our paths probably crossed many times at Photo Expo in New York City, but we didn't know each other then. So we talked in the podcast episode that's going to launch on Sunday about file shadow, because we recorded this a few weeks ago. We did not know MemoryWeb was going to decide not to continue with their photo organizing. The brand is still there. They're going off in a different direction, but we didn't know that then. So it's an interesting thing to listen to the two of us talk about the changing photographic marketplace and how that affects all of us as genealogists. Now, let's just see, I have another slide. So metadata, what is it? I'm just going to give you a brief overview, which is, it's the people that we name. Maybe we create an album name, the location, keywords, caption, the descriptor, and copyright details, and a date. Those are basic things. And that's what we're hoping to add to our photographs. These are the building blocks of the family history that we're trying to preserve, right? We want to be able to save them. Now, maybe there's a way to interpret those fields and put information in a different place. Maybe you put it all in the caption, for instance, and that seemed to be read across many, many platforms. But as soon as you got into sort of specifics like people and album and keywords, that sometimes got a little funny. But if you put everything into your caption or description, it was all there. So that's a workaround. Adobe Bridge, free. That also works, but there's a learning curve with that. Actually, somebody on my newsletter list told me that they were an experienced Bridge user, and he gave me a tutorial. We met on Zoom, so that was kind of interesting. So IPTC is photo metadata, and it sets the industry standards. And what I said earlier is that there are lots of fields. There's so many fields to choose from when you decide that you want to name people. I don't want to go into all those details. We had a series of meetings. There were groups of us that met and talked about each part of the metadata, each field. What of those tags would be the best field for us to use for all of those things in that previous slide. We met for an entire, I believe it was in a whole summer. We had little group meetings to talk about it. What did we think? And we came up with the standards, which were then further tweaked. But there's something called GitHub, and you can get to that from savemetadata.org. And stay on my newsletter list. I'm updating my digital photo organizing 101 class. That'll happen maybe in a couple of weeks after Roots Tech, but you'll hear about it if you're on my newsletter list. What else? Does anybody have any questions? The way this is going to work today is I'm speaking, answering questions for about another 15 minutes. And then we'll have Amanda from Permanent come on, and I have her slides. So Amanda, I'm going to upload your slides in just a minute. And she'll be talking about Permanent and what they do. And Permanent's these are two great organizations, companies that I have on this afternoon, 3, if you count Vivid-Pix, which I'm not even counting them because we're sort of joined at the hip these days, talking about metadata and solutions and what we're going to do. And so Amanda's on from 3 to 3:30. Forever's on from 3:30 to 4. I'm going to invite Amanda and Tammy from Forever and Rick to all be on the call whenever they'd like to be on the call, and for as long as you have questions. I did send out a Google form link this past weekend to get you to ask questions, and I have those right here. Let me just pull them over to the side on my other computer so I can see them. I have somebody who actually went through everybody's contracts, so Amanda, get ready for that. I did not include PhotoMime in this. It's not really a photo organizer per se, as far as I'm concerned, which they could come after me for that. And then have I reviewed ACD Seed? No, but I know of it, and it is a professional photo organizer. I could, though. And it's a very good organizer as far as I know, but I haven't tested it, so I'm going to test it. There's some other things I haven't tested as well. Yeah, so Bill Sherman's pretty knowledgeable. He has a question, which I will let the other experts. I've been joking that I never intended to become a metadata maven. So I will let other people that are on, probably Rick can answer some of these questions about how will metadata evolve with the different file types, right? Because then Matt came out with HEIC. So let's just go to my next slide. Get another slide. If you want to stay on my newsletter list, this is where you can find out all the different things that I'm doing, and I'll spread the word about what other companies are doing. Also on my Substack, I do have a Substack. I am Photo Detective on all. God, Rachel, you like AC/DC, but you can't find the memory web albums. All right, I'm going to try to sign up for a trial of AC/DC and CD and see if I can find them. I did have problems in some of the testing that I did. I had to click like more IPTC fields to see everything. I definitely don't want to lose all that data that I have in there. I really don't want to copy it all over again. That would just be dreadful. So I'm going to stop sharing my slides and put Amanda's slides in the back room. And let's get to some questions. Let me also put her slides up back here so I can add file from my computer. Give me just a second. Permanent overview. All right, it takes a few minutes to load. All right, so what steps can be taken to ensure that metadata is carried with our photos and document files? Obviously, it would be great if all of these companies adhered to the same metadata standards and use the same fields. I can't imagine that happening anytime soon. But again, I mentioned maybe you just load it all in your caption, because I believe that is an unlimited field. And if you put all your information in there, then it will get transferred. Yeah, same question. Everybody's got the same question. What is the status of savemetadata.org and getting online services? Right, savemetadata.org is still around. We haven't been meeting on a regular basis, but I believe that's going to change. And Bill, thank you so much for answering some of these questions. How many of the different image formats? Yeah, they're all included. Well, not PDFs. Most of them don't include PDFs. Whatever. So why don't you tell me in the comments what photo organizer you use right now? And if you used to use Memory Web, tell me where you switched, what you went to, because that would be helpful as well. I don't know why I'm only seeing the comments in. I'm afraid to click this. No, we're not going to do that. I'm not seeing any Facebook questions. Hopefully it is live on my Facebook page. So what else? Apple Photos. You know, Apple used to have a great platform. They had a great platform, and then they changed it. But now, you know, I was pleasantly surprised that Mac Preview showed me all the metadata in the files. But I've gotten quite lazy, right? I have all of the metadata in my files, and I go to my photo organizer and I search what I'm looking for, and it pops up, and there's the image that I need for whatever I'm working on, a presentation, I'm writing something, it's all there. Or if I'm a photo collector as well. So I use the app on my phone, and I go off to buy photographs and see what I have and what I don't have. And I use the organizer for that so that I don't triple buy. And my sort of background with this is, for a while, Apple Photos was different on all devices. And I set up albums, and then I went off thinking I could access all my information on my phone, or I did it on my desktop. I could do the same thing on my phone or my tablet, and it was all completely different. And I was so angry about it all that I moved to a digital photo organizer. I moved to Memory Web, like a lot of people. None yet. Some people use Apple Photos. Adobe Organizer, huh? Lightroom is just a very, definitely a learning curve on Lightroom. I've tried it several times. Bridge, I was figuring it out the other day. Oh, somebody sent me I don't think I can share that, but I will put it in the chat later. Somebody shared a screenshot of what happens with MediaGraph. I've asked people what other programs they want me to test. Somebody wanted me to test Irfan View, but I'm on a Mac. I can't do that. I'm not going to download extra software to be able to read it. Meta image for manipulating the metadata. So there are some things in here. OneDrive. Yeah, definitely move away from Google Photos. MyLeo, Apple Photos. All right, so we've got a lot going on here. And somebody wants to know how you add meta tags to photos. So generally when you upload an image to a platform, and I know Permanent is going to show something, and I know Forever, and I know Rick will show something, the fields are there. You fill them in. It's like a little dashboard where you have the photo and then you have the thing that you're going to fill in. So it makes it pretty simple. Somebody said, I'm a Microsoft Windows person, so I hope the solution isn't an Apple product. I think probably in preview on your Windows machine, it should work as well, but I don't have it, so I can't test it. Permanent solutions. Well, that's why we have Permanent up next. Plenty of Windows metadata solutions as well. Yeah, Windows Photo works very similar. So Bill, it'd be interesting if you used MemoryWeb, if you could upload an image with metadata from MemoryWeb into the Windows and share that with me. That would be great. Some screenshots, and I'll make a little video. And I'll put it up on my metadata. All right. Anybody else have a question? Device is not connected. Okay. All right, I'm going to bring Amanda in a little bit, just a couple of minutes early, just in case we have any things. Rick's in the waiting room. Rick, I can see you, so if you can answer something, and Amanda's going to talk for like 15, 20 minutes and then answer some questions about Permanent. Why move away from Google? Maybe Rick, you can answer that question when you get in here. Here's a quick article on metadata extraction. Perfect. All right, I am going to add Amanda to, just in case we have some technical difficulties. Oh, and if anybody has a question for me, I'm going to, like after this, I'm going to put my email address in here. And Rick and I were working on a letter. We were really trying to get people interested in telling companies what they want to see. I know that I have written to a couple this week to say, listen, you already use IPTC. Why don't you use the rest of the fields or the fields that are in this program so that we can just seamlessly move? So we have a letter that will share that you're, I wouldn't personalize it too much because it's got our signatures on it. And Rick has gone away. So I'm going to add Amanda to the stage. I will share that at the end. There's Amanda. Oops, you're muted yourself.
Yep, I was muted.
There you go. Okay, I am going to add this to the stage, and we will be over to the side. Now, Amanda, I don't know if you can see the little arrows to direct your own slides. Can you see that little arrow?
I do not see any arrows.
Okay. So when you want me to go to another slide, just say next slide.
Okay, great. Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Maureen, for the quick intro and sharing a little bit of the background on the metadata conundrum that folks are finding themselves in. My name is Amanda Meeks. I work for the Permanent Legacy Foundation. We maintain permanent.org, which is our platform created for personal digital archiving and preserving digital legacies. We can go next slide. So I'm going to share a little bit about the Permanent Legacy Foundation, what preserving your materials on Permanent looks like, how to get started, a program that we offer called the Legacy Lab, and then of course we'll have time for questions and I'll share my contact information. Next slide. So this is just a brief introduction to who we are. Next slide. So Permanent is a nonprofit organization, and we, as I mentioned, create and maintain permanent.org. We have mobile apps as well as the web app. Both are kind of ongoing development. And I liked that Maureen mentioned putting together this letter, informing platforms and folks around what you would like to see in terms of metadata, because we are actually very responsive to our members. Later in this call, I'll go ahead and share a link to our Trello board for our member improvements list. To get something on that list, you just need to email us, and we will work on prioritizing it. The more folks who tell us they want it prioritized. So our focus is digital preservation, so long-term preservation. And we provide the cloud storage platforms, as I mentioned, on permanent.org for individuals, small organizations, and community groups. And next slide. And thank you, Anne and Catherine, for shouting out the Legacy Lab. I am going to talk a little bit about that at the end of this presentation. So our mission is to preserve and provide perpetual access to the digital legacy of all people for the historical and educational benefit of future generations. We get questions all the time, what makes permanent sustainable? And if you go to our next slide, I can talk a little bit more about that. We believe that all people leave a legacy worth preserving, and that individual stories can change the way we see the world. And what makes us sustainable is this belief that preservation is people. It's not just technology. And so we are planning for the future, not just through our endowment model that supports our long-term costs of storage, but also just planning for people to be part of our organization who will continue to evolve the platform and make sure that we are maintaining the highest preservation standards that we can, that are in line with archival standards and digital preservation practices across that field. Next slide. So our cost model is very simple, and there are no recurring fees with Permanent. It's a one-time storage fee of $10 per gigabyte. So if you need 3 gigabytes, that's $30. And that also means that you won't later be locked out of your materials. They won't be deleted without your knowledge or consent if you're unable to pay those fees. And the storage fees and donations that Permanent accepts go into our endowment. And our endowment, like I said, covers the cost of storage and the maintenance of the platforms over time. Next slide.
So Amanda, there's no reason why someone couldn't have storage at permanent.org and use a photo organizer somewhere else.
Absolutely. And yes, we are very, we like to be part of an ecosystem of digital archivists and preservationists and tools. So we're not the only tool that we recommend folks use. We have limitations in terms of what our platform can and can't do. So yeah, definitely, depending on your needs, you may use some photo organizer that, that works for you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So now I'm going to share a little bit about preserving your materials on Permanent, and I apologize in advance. Caitlin, our member success manager, couldn't be here today because she is out sick. She is our technical wizard. She knows she can answer any question about the platform, and is really, really the backbone of our support system at Permanent. So I'm going to share this with the caveat that she would have done a better job. But Next slide. So when you get access to permanent.org, you have the ability to create an archive. With one single account, you can create as many archives as you'd like. And this is kind of the look and feel of the archive. And, you know, each archive has its name. This one is the Walsh Family Archive. And then you have different access roles. So if you create the archive, you're automatically going to be the owner, but you can add other people who you want to collaborate with to be an editor, a manager, a viewer, just so that you can control the access to your materials. And you also have the option of having private files, shared files with specific people, or links, or public files. Public files go into Permanent's public gallery and are searchable across the Permanent public gallery. So, you know, if you're not familiar with the public gallery, you can go in there and search for, if you type in museum, you'll find some of our Byte for Byte partners, for example, or library, etc. So next slide.
But if it's a public, it doesn't go to the Internet Archive.
Oh, we have an integration with the Internet Archive. When you publish your materials on Permanent, you have the option to also back it up to the Internet Archive, and it automatically adds it to their Wayback Machine.
But you don't have to.
Correct.
Okay.
So you can also preserve any file type on Permanent. At the moment, these are the ones that we have listed. As we need to, we will continue to add more file types, but these are kind of the ones that we know we ingest. And when you ingest these file types, they are Permanent on the back end creates what's known as a preservation copy. And you don't lose your original file. It's still there. But what you see in your archive, if you upload a TIFF, is actually a JPEG. This allows for just easier load times, like faster load times and whatnot. So it creates this preservation copy. Your original file is still there. And I should also mention here that your original file does have the original metadata that's attached to it. It just doesn't map to Permanent's metadata fields at the moment, because that's something that we're working on. It's in our product roadmap, but it's not something we currently offer. So it is something we're aware of. Yes.
Right. So if you upload, as I saw in my test, if you upload your memory web file, it reads, I think it reads I can't remember, I tested so many, but I think it reads the description field. Mm-hmm. But the other ones, it doesn't strip them away.
Correct.
You think that it's gone. And initially people are like, my metadata is all gone. I'm like, nope, your metadata is there.
The metadata is still there. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So we definitely all want to write to you and say, this is a priority.
Yeah. And I encourage you to, honestly, the more feedback we get, the more we're able to prioritize the things that are really useful to people. So yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So as I mentioned, you can collaborate and share. So I won't spend too much time on this slide, but the important piece here is that you are able to collaborate with other folks on a particular archive. You're not collaborating with them across all of your archives. You can select and choose who is going to be part of what archive. So if you are working on something with, say, your mom's side of the family, you can invite all of those folks to one archive. And then if you have a different archive for your dad's side of the family, you can invite all of those folks to that archive. And so collaboration is a really important feature on Permanent, and works really well in this way. Mm-hmm.
So when you collaborate and they add information, does that get added to the metadata?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. So if they are an editor or above, editor or manager, then they will be able to add metadata change the metadata and add that important context. That is what metadata is, right?
Yeah.
It's the context that is really important and crucial to long-term preservation. So the other nice feature that is important to mention here is that we have legacy planning. Legacy planning allows each account holder to set up a legacy contact, similar to what Facebook has. They have legacy contacts that can alert the platform if somebody passes. And for each archive that you own, you can also set up an archive steward. So the archive steward is the person who will inherit the archive upon someone's passing, as long as they are named. And you can write a note. You can include detailed instructions for what you want done with that archive. So this is another important feature of long-term preservation that we really wanted to make sure was part of our platform going forward. And this is a very useful feature. So something to think about.
One
questions in the chat.
Yeah, one question from Ann Larkin. When, if you download a photo, do you get the preservation copy back with all the original metadata?
You get the original file back with all the metadata. Yeah.
Does it include the metadata you've added?
No.
Okay, so just like if you take your memory web file and you upload it, that metadata is in there. You can't read it, but then you add more metadata to the file. So when you export that, all you get is the original metadata that you had in your file.
Correct.
Right
so
now.
that is the thing that we're working on, where we want to be able to keep the metadata that's added in permanent with the file when somebody downloads it, because that is definitely important. And like you said, Maureen, we want to be able to allow people to move from platform to platform. And we want to encourage people to follow best practices, which is to have multiple copies of your files anyways. And the best practice around that is to have the same metadata that's attached to them. So being able to migrate and transfer that is important.
Do you offer duplicate checkers or anything like that, like some of the other platforms? I don't think you do.
We don't.
Yeah.
No. Okay, getting started. Next slide. So creating an account on Permanent is free. Every person who creates an account is able to claim 1 GB of storage for free. That gets a lot of folks pretty far, actually, depending on the file types that you are working with. And you can create as many archives as you'd like under a single account, like I mentioned. So those that are collaborating with you can also make free accounts. And again, they can view, edit, and help manage your shared collections. Next slide.
I just want to tell you that I'm pretty sure I inserted a QR code for people just to go right to permanent from the screen.
Oh, okay, great.
What I think might work. I'm hoping it worked. I've been playing with technology for days. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not here yet. Anyway.
It's not here. Okay. It's somewhere in the slide deck.
So yeah, I made the QR code.
Yeah. Okay, so this is the what you'll see when you create a free account. It's a very simple process. You don't have to give us a credit card or anything like that. And go ahead and go to the next slide. Maybe we'll see your QR code. Nope.
I don't know.
We'll drop the link in the chat. But once you create an account, you can create your first archive. We have a whole onboarding process, which is really easy to follow. There's a checklist. You should definitely follow the checklist to make sure you kind of get oriented to the archive. But I will say that we offer a monthly member orientation that is, an hour and a half, I believe. And it goes through all of the onboarding tasks and helps you get set up to start your first archive. And the other thing that we include in the onboarding process is setting your preservation goals. So we really want to support our members in their goals. We work with a lot of different kinds of folks. We work with professional archivists, library and museum staff. We work with individuals who are doing family history and genealogy. We work with photo managers and artists and so many others. And so people have different goals that they bring to permanent, and we're very aware of that. So we're always trying to balance, priorities with our members' various goals as well. Next slide.
We have a question from Cecile. When you upload photos, should you create the archives before uploading or after?
Yeah, you'll have to create an archive before you upload anything.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And now I am going to talk a little bit about the Legacy Lab, which is a program that we have been running for a year now. Tomorrow, go ahead and go to the next slide. This will be our third time running the Legacy Lab. So Legacy Lab 3.0 begins on Monday. Tomorrow is the last day to register for this free program. I want to emphasize that it is free, but we do accept donations, which go and support our endowment and the cost of the program, the cost to run the program. And what this does, it's a 4-week guided archiving course and learning community to complete a beginner-friendly legacy project on permanent. So it really teaches you the ins and outs of storytelling, as well as how to use permanent as a platform in order to tell a specific and very very narrowly scoped story. So folks have told the story of their parents' wedding, for example. We've had specific immigration stories. We've had adoption stories, etc. So those are the kinds of projects that come out of Legacy Lab. And the learning format is mostly done over email. So you get a daily email with tasks that are very bite-sized. And then we have a weekly call on Fridays. And you're going through the program with a cohort of others who are also learning the process. And I will share the link for the class in the chat once I'm done talking. But I highly encourage you to take this and see if, it's a good way to test out the product and platform and see if you like it. And if you do, then we would love to hear your feedback and what improvements you would like to see.
There it is.
There it is.
So I think you can just put your camera, I'm going to test it on my phone to see if it actually works. But I think if you just point your phone, yep, it works. Just point your phone at your screen where the QR code is. It'll take you over to the page where you can find out more information. And Amanda's put it in there. I've taken the Legacy Lab. It's very good.
Yeah, and it's offered twice a year right now. So it is offered currently March and October, but that may change. We've had a lot of interest in it, and so we might need to add some sessions or change them around timing wise.
It's question time. Who has questions? Who has more questions? I can see the questions on Facebook on my phone, and I can see the YouTube questions on my desktop.
I also want to share our product roadmap. This is a detailed plan of where we're going in terms of platform developments, and then the member improvements list is where we're tracking issues that have been brought up by our members. So things that people have emailed us about, or we've heard in Legacy Lab, or we've heard from our Byte for Byte partners, et cetera. And so, yeah, you can kind of see a few of these pieces fitting together. You can see some of the product roadmap is definitely inspired by the member improvements list. But like I said, the more requests we get for specific features, the more we tend to prioritize those developments.
Okay. Is this the last slide?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing this, but all those links are now in the chat. I would like to take the class on my PC. What is the link to sign up? It's 3 links up. Maybe you can share that again, Amanda.
Yeah, I don't mind grabbing that again.
Okay, and I do want to share this letter that Rick and I have worked on. I know Tammy's in the waiting room, so she hasn't heard this, so no big surprise, Tammy. We have put together a letter of action for people to use to write to the company, the various companies, whatever company they work with, to talk about what we want to see with metadata and why it's so important. Because on Save Metadata, we worked very hard on some standards that pretty much no one watched. I cannot share a PDF in the chat. So if anyone wants this letter, it is a 2-page letter. If anybody wants this letter, write to me and I'll send it to you. I don't know if I can add it to the chat when I'm not in StreamYard anymore. But we will, oh, media assets. Wait a minute. No. She wants to know where your members improvement list is on Trello. That's not it.
That link is up above. It doesn't let me copy the links from the
you got to do them all over again.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I can pin it.
There's the member improvements list.
I can pin it. It pins to the top. Oh, that's not very helpful. Anyway, we have this 2-page letter that Rick and I put together that says you're writing as a professional genealogist. This is why metadata is important. This is currently the situation with metadata. And this is what we want to see: universal compatibility, read, write, edit, and export function, and user-centric export features. And then Rick and I signed it, and then a place for you to put your signature. I support these measures. Very simple, but we thought it was time to get you all activated and send people, the companies that you're working with, information on the metadata. I'm going to remove that from the stage. So again, anybody wants that letter, you can write to me at photodetective@maureentaylor.com, and I will get it to you if I'm unable to put it in the chat, which appears that might be the case, but we'll see. Sometimes when you're not in StreamYard, there's other features that you can use. So anyone have any more questions for Amanda? She's got like 11 more minutes before we bring in Tammy Kirby. Amanda and I have worked together for a number of years now.
I think 3.
3 feels like longer. It's a long 3 years. But,
very bad thing.
Yeah, but we're good. And I have an account on Permanent. Most companies give me testing ability so that I can, tell you what I think if I like stuff and don't like stuff. I'm not seeing the links in YouTube. All right, Ira, if you go to, I'll try to copy and paste them from Facebook into YouTube. I probably should go to my YouTube channel and see what I'm seeing. So hold on for a minute. Maybe there's a way for me to do that. Oh, I do not want to hear Tracy. No. My YouTube defaults to a talk that I heard like months ago. And it just plays it every time.
Oh, it looks like Cecile asked a question. Do you mind if I answer that, Maureen?
No, go right ahead. And we're being spammed.
Oh.
Great. Which is why we're on YouTube.
So she asked, once you've created an archive and uploaded photos, can you move them to another new archive that you have created? Can photos live in more than one archive? So the answer to your first question is yes, you can move photos around between archives. However, we are working on that feature to make it available so that you can actually add things to multiple archives. So right now you would need to create a duplicate file. And instead of that, we want to be able to just say, like, we want a checkbox that allows you to add it to multiple archives. So that is the answer to that.
Right. So I'm going to share my newsletter list again, because what we're going to do on this week, Friday, I think, we are going to send out a special newsletter to everyone about this, how you can watch the replay. And we will include, the reason we're going to do it is because we're going to include all the links from the chat, like your 3 links that you shared, Amanda, whatever Tammy has to share. We're going to share it all, how to sign up for the Legacy Lab. It's just basically going to be an information sheet. We just didn't have the time to make a handout before this. And there appears to be no way to actually share it in StreamYard, which is a negative.
The Legacy Lab registration does close tomorrow. So I'll share that verbally for folks who can't see the link. So it's www.permanent.org/legacy-lab. And Legacy Lab is in our top level menu if you go to our website and just want to click on it there too.
Yeah. Any other questions for Amanda? Tammy, I can see you in the waiting room, so we could bring you in a few minutes early if you want. Anything else? I mean, Amanda, are you going to go away, or are you going to hang out in the background?
I'll hang out for a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, just in case we have another question for you.
Yep.
So thank you very much. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Maureen, and thank you all for your questions.
All right, Tammy, are you ready? Nod your head. I can see you. There you go. All right. This is Tammy Kirby.
Hi.
Forever, everyone. And she's on a little bit early, so thank you. I know you have a very packed schedule on Wednesdays.
And
it's all good. I first met Tammy at a New England regional conference in New Hampshire, I think.
Yeah.
And we have been chatting, and she sent me files to play with, and we've sort of been, talking about all this for a while. So I have your slides, which I'm going to share. The way this works, I don't know if you saw it with Amanda, you have to tell me next slide.
Okay, that's perfectly fine. That totally works.
Okay. We'll have a whole nother situation when Rick comes, because he has a video he wants me to share.
Oh.
We'll
and I like talking with my hands. So
I haven't used StreamYard in a while, everyone, and this is brand new, and I upgraded so I could have lots of you on at the same time. So also, if you want me to do more roundtables, put it in the chat, because this is actually really fun. All right.
All right. So that's I just want to thank Maureen for really having us on and letting me talk about Forever. I'm very passionate about it. I'm an ambassador Forever. I signed up back in 2015, and I'm a senior lead. I use the whole platform, everything on the platform that I'm going to share. But I've used it all and I've tried it all out. So I'm excited to share what's unique about Forever with you. And we can go to the next one. So we're going to talk about the complete and permanent and the memory keeping platform and how easy it is to share with people. This was the part that I wanted to do with Maureen, and I haven't gotten her my photos to to do that part. So we'll get there, Maureen.
We will, Tammy. We will.
You can go to the next one. So what is Forever? It is your complete and permanent memory keeping platform. So it's a storage solution for everything that you want to put in there. It's your one stop for everything. And it started back in 2012. Glenn Meekum, he's a very successful entrepreneur, and he's a very committed family man. His wife, Diane, they have 5 children and 3 grandchildren. And what he was trying to do was find a place that he could put all his past photos and memories and the current ones, but he wanted a permanent home for them, and he wasn't finding anything out there. And so he created Forever. And that's how it started. And it's very stable and it's very reliable. And the one thing he does do is he listens to us and he makes the changes as we see fit for what our needs are. So we can go to the next one. So there's a lot of companies out there. And we just kind of put them in this chart so you can see what Forever has to offer. We have the guarantee and the safety, and I'll talk more about that. There's no data mining or advertising, so it's completely private. You can save, all kinds of file types, videos, PDFs, photos, all can go to Forever. You can customize. And then you can do printing, digitization, restoration. We offer all of that in one stop. So, it's kind of nice just to see it in a chart and compare everything in one spot. So you can go to the next one. Here's the part that I want to talk about the most, is the guaranteed storage. So Forever has a guarantee fund. So when you purchased Forever storage or lifetime streaming, a portion of that money goes into a guaranteed fund. And it's set up like an endowment. So it keeps, making money as you go on. And so it's really stable. And that's how we can guarantee that it's for your lifetime plus 100 years. So we're really in this for the long haul. Plus Glenn has his stuff in there, and like the whole reason he started was so we didn't have to do this again. So does that make sense?
Yeah, we have a question, and I know Amanda, I might bring Amanda back in because I know that your 2 companies, like I mentioned earlier, just because you put stuff in Forever and use Forever doesn't mean you can't have another thing over at Permanent, and the price is actually pretty good at Permanent for that. So you have a backup. It works quite well. But the question, Amanda, I'm going to bring you back for just a second because I know we have talked about this, and sorry, Tammy, to have her come in on the thing.
I think this is great.
Yeah, the question is, do you update the file formats without degrading the original? And I think Robert had said that was the plan for Permanent as well, right? And for you at Forever, right, Tammy?
Yes. When you upload to Forever, your whole complete file goes up the way it is. It doesn't get compressed, nothing. It goes up. Is that what he's referring to?
No, he's referring to, like, say we don't use JPEGs anymore. So
yes, we migrate.
Going to convert those files.
Yes, we migrate to the newest format that's coming up. So like right now, I believe it's HEIC is like the newest format.
Yeah.
We are in the works to migrating. So when those upload, they'll upload easily to Forever. If you have an iPhone, you can set to the most compatible. And when you use the Forever mobile app, it will automatically convert them from that HEIC to a JPEG and upload them. But we are in the process. I have talked to Nathan Bowers, the vice president, and we are in the process of getting that migration. So yes.
Yeah. Amanda, you want to unmute yourself?
Sure. So Yeah, we don't do anything to the original file until we haven't had to migrate, but that is what our engineers are ideally set up to do. So we work with engineers on these problems, and that is the point of permanent, is to be able to migrate the file types as they change over time, because file types will inevitably continue to change. And yeah, we want to maintain the highest quality possible.
This is like an online exhibit hall. Tammy, meet Amanda. Amanda, meet Tammy.
Nice
Yeah.
to meet
That's a lot in common.
Yes.
All right. So back to Tammy. Thank you so much, Amanda. I'm gonna try to figure out how to. There you go. All right. Next slide.
Yep. So this is Trustpilot, and we have reviews on Trustpilot. And I highly recommend, no matter what company you are choosing to go with, that you go and read reviews and really look at what other customers are doing. Because I think it's important to do that. So if you want to check out Forever, you can go to Trustpilot and you can read the reviews that other people are using with our company. But with any company, please read your terms of service, because it's important. Well, I think it's important. So here's a place, if anybody would like to go and look, you can go to Trustpilot. So you can go to the next slide. So this is kind of my favorite thing. Why Forever Storage? We are truly blessed to have everything in one place. We've done all this work for our families. We've gathered everything. We have it all in one place. We have it guaranteed for their lifetime for 100 years. You're not renting any space. You own it. You set it up the way that you want it and how you want somebody to see it. Like in your albums, your descriptions, your dates, all of that's in one complete spot. And that's what I love about Forever. It's like I have set this whole digital world up for my kids, and they have total access to it from their phones, from their computers, from their iPads. And I can easily share with anybody, anywhere, quickly. So that's really why I love Forever. I've completed it for them. So here's where the thing, this is what I love, is we have Forever found like people had already organized their photos, their documents, their PDFs, their videos. They had them on an external hard drive. They had them on a computer. They already had them organized. And they didn't want to have to repeat that process. And Forever now has Valet, a desktop software that allows you for 60 days to try it out and to upload your documents, your photos, your videos into Forever, but maintain the structure that you already set up to begin with. It all follows it right into Forever. So whatever you named your folder on your computer is now the name of the album in Forever, if that makes sense. So go ahead, Maureen.
Myself into this just a little bit. So what she's talking about is, I'm going to tell you a couple of best practices. So first off, try the platforms you're thinking about, and Forever makes that easy. Permanent makes it easy. These are, photo organizers and permanent storage that you can use. Try them. Make yourself a test album of maybe 15 photographs, and then upload them to the thing that you want to try, see how it all works, and then make your decision. Don't do as I do. Do as I tell you to do. Don't upload your entire photo archive, family archive, to one site, and then you go, oh my God, I really don't like this. Try it first. Test it out. Make your list of what can be done. And before you do the valet, what Tammy is talking about is make sure your photographs are organized into folders before you do that, so that it's easy for you to find them. So I would make a folder all for my grandmother. So it sort of goes with how you organize the real stuff in the real world. You want to do a similar organization with your digital files. The other thing about digital files and digital organizers are you can have as many keywords as you want, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you can put as many keywords as you want to find these at a moment's notice. So try things, test them, organize before you upload. Don't just mass upload them. I had that problem on a site. It uploaded everything out of Apple Photos. It was a nightmare. I deleted the whole thing. And then, organize. Definitely organize everything. But Tammy, I'll let you get back to your presentation.
Oh, no, but the nice thing, but the nice thing about valet is if you're already organized, or like it even works with CDs. Like I did CDs and it uploaded the CD and the name of the CD. It uploaded it, and that was easy for me to find. You do get valet for 60 days. So if you think you can get it done in 60 days, great. If you think you're going to need longer than 60 days, there's a fee for that for a year. But it also allows you at that point, if you get your Forever account beautifully organized and you wanted another backup on an external hard drive because that's what you wanted, with valet, it will allow you to download your whole structure of your account the way you've organized it. So we're not always having to reorganize. That's just a daunting task. Nobody wants to do that.
Nobody wants to do that. We have a couple of questions in the chat. Let's see. We also need to know the user interface, which is continually maintained so we can access the content. Yep. That's Bill Sherman. Knows his stuff with photos. I think Tammy mentioned that HEIC, when it is uploaded, is converted to JPEG. If she could verify that. Yes,
it will convert it. If you have your phone set, I'm going off my phone, off of an iPhone. If you go to your settings in your camera settings and you say most compatible, then it will change it and upload it. We'll convert it to a JPEG.
Can you then change it in Forever to a different format?
That I don't know, and I'm not going to answer that because I don't know that the answer to that, and I'm not going to give you false information. So that I would have to put out to support.
Well, that's a test.
Yeah.
We can test that.
We can test that. I can change the name of my file. If he wants to know if I can change the name of my file, yes, I can change the name of my file. I've just never tried to change it from a JPEG to a PDF in Forever.
All right.
Yeah. I've never done that. I mean,
but you could do that with a different program and then upload it.
Yeah, you could.
All that stuff anyway.
Yeah.
Are nested folders and albums supported?
In what way are they saying are they supported?
In other words, I have Wilson family, and then I have all the Wilsons in separate.
Yes, like with valet, if they come in through valet, yes, they will be nested though. Yes.
So William says he has pictures on OneDrive organized by date followed by events. If I upload them to Forever, I can find them in the same way that I find them in OneDrive, correct?
I've never tested OneDrive. That one, I would have to reach out to Nathan.
But when you sign up, like you can go on Forever And
yeah, you can go to Forever. We'll give you a link at the end. So here's the thing. Anybody that you can go to forever.com, but we're going to give you a link, which will link you to me. So you can email me directly these questions, and I will make sure that I follow up and I will get you an answer. Like, I will not leave you hanging.
Right. So then this is Bill Sherman. Bill, thank you so much for your expertise. Strongly suggests is not choosing most compatible because JPEG is too lossy, which means it doesn't have a whole lot of detail. But Travis asks, is the metadata portable up and down? And Tammy, I know that you and I have exchanged a couple of emails lately because I'm like, listen, Forever uses IPTC. And I think you're asking your technical people, why can't you just add those few fields in that memory web used so it would all be there? I'm not sure.
And we might see that in the next couple of slides. So we might be answering that question in the next couple of slides.
Okay. All right. So Bill has a bunch of metadata questions, so we'll wait.
Oh boy. Well, I'll try to answer the best I can.
I mean, the beauty of Forever is that you have all these things that you can do with Forever.
Yes.
And with permanent, the beauty is that you have permanent storage and
yes.
public albums or, whatever you want to do. And you can also collaborate. So,
yeah.
So,
okay. So we're going to get
to this
point. Yeah. yeah. So we're going to get into some metadata questions here. Okay. So this particular photo was a scanned photo. It was not off my phone. It was a photo out of a photo album. I sent it to Forever to the digitization center. They scanned it. They put it in my Forever account for me. At that time, I went in. So on the right-hand side where it says info, when I clicked on the photo, it opens up into a light box. It becomes large. On the right-hand side, you're going to see info. So I changed the file name. You can see where it says Tammy. I added a description. You can add quite a lot to your descriptions, but anything in that description, I can search by. So I have a tendency to put like a town or whatever. So when I'm searching, those things will pop up. So you can search by description. The date taken, I changed the date taken. Because when you scan a photo, it's not going to give you the date taken. It will give you the date that it was scanned. I changed that. So that I changed. There's people. So now I have facial recognition. So I can put that. So when I go to people and I search Tammy, that photo will come up under my people's tag. And there's two ways you can use facial recognition. There's a fee for it where it will merge the faces like faces together, which makes it very quick to organize. Or you can manually add your faces, however you want, your people. So you have two options for facial recognition. But I chose the version where they merged them together quickly for me. And then I added the name. Like, you have to add the name to your people. Go ahead, Maureen.
So when I tested Forever and uploaded my memory web, there's a lot of fields it didn't see, but it did see the description. So what I mentioned earlier in my presentation that you weren't here for is that you can put as much stuff in your description as you want. The funny part of the reading or writing, the reading or exporting of metadata comes when you use all those other specific fields like people's names or location. But what I found was pretty much all programs, well, not all programs, watch my videos, but many of them read the description. So if I just had all my memory web data in my description field, it would have been fine across the board. Now, the question for you is, now that you've added this to Forever, what happens if I decide to export this file? Will that well, we don't know because you can't test all the platforms, but does that metadata export with the file?
Oh, I'll show you in the next couple of slides. Yeah.
Just double checking. I don't want to go through this again.
No, right. Yeah. So then I added my tags. So yeah. So I added my tags. So this photo is off of my phone. Okay. So this one uploaded off of my phone. I added the description. There's the date, the file size. I added a tag Forever Live 2024 because sometimes I search by tags. And the album, it's telling me what album I put that photo in. The beauty is I can put that photo in multiple albums. It doesn't take up any more space. It can go in multiple albums. So I can have it in an album called 2024. I can have it in an album called Forever Live, however, vacation. So that same photo can be linked to 3 or 4 albums or more. And you can add multiple tags if you would like. So you don't have to duplicate your photo. You just have to tell it what album you would like it in. Does that make sense? Any questions on that?
Anybody have any questions on that?
So this is on the surface. This is what you see in the Forever Lightbox. You click on it. That's the metadata you see on the surface. Go to the next slide, Maureen.
Although my mouse is like on the other, I don't know where it went on vacation there.
Okay. I downloaded that photo out of Forever. So I downloaded.
You exported. Right? Yep.
Yep, exported. So if you see, it has, I don't need to get up in your face, but it has the tag that I tagged it. And then under comments, it does have comments. It did download the comments.
What are you reading this in?
I downloaded it off of my computer, so I think I'm a Windows person. It's on a PC.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then what happened was that the column on the left is what you saw when I downloaded. If I went to properties and click details, all those other information followed it. All of that came down with it. And on my computer, I don't know about other computers, but the GPS, you can see the latitude and longitude, but my computer also shows me a map.
Nice.
So all that, even though you didn't see it in Forever, it's still there. You just have to download it to see it. But what you were saying was you copied that in and put that in your description, correct?
I could. I mean, I'm thinking that from now on, I'm not going to use all those specific fields because it's been such a problem moving from platform to platform. But what you're saying is it doesn't really matter because in Forever, if I upload my file and add metadata,
yes,
it will add the metadata. And then when I export it, I'll be able to see it in a different program.
Right. The only thing, the only thing that you're not seeing is the people, like, because I had my people Tammy, and you're not seeing what album it was in Forever, but you're seeing, like, if I tagged it and you're seeing the description. Like I added those 2 things. And I'm almost positive if I would have, because I didn't do the scan one, it would change if you changed your file name. It would have that too.
Bill Sherman's saying that this looks like EXIF field, not IPTC or XMP fields. There's different types of metadata, folks, which makes it all very complicated.
Right. But on my computer,
that's what you're saying.
This is what I got. Okay. So once you do all that and you have your photos up there, and if you haven't organized them yet, we allow you to organize them. Everything lives in your gallery. So it's on the surface, it's in your gallery. Albums, that's like folders on your computer. We call them albums. You can add tags. The other nice thing is you can bulk organize. So let's say you had a series, you went on a vacation, you have all the photos, you can highlight all the photos, and you can add a description to the photos, You can add tags to the photos. Anything that you would like to do, you can do in a bulk organizer, so you don't have to do one photo at a time. We also have a photo editing feature, so you can edit your photos if you need to. And it doesn't delete the original, it makes a copy. So if you want to edit a photo, it'll make a copy of it and it'll keep the original. And the other nice feature it has, I don't see if you see the little red heart. It's a favorites. So in Forever, if you have like 5 photos and you have one that you really like, you can heart it and you can search by favorites. You can search by year. You can search by year and month. You can search by newest upload date. You can search by date taken. So there's a lot of search features in finding your photos.
Yeah. Yep. What kind of editing can you do in Forever? That's a question.
So what are they actually looking for to edit though? Like, are you looking to crop? Give me 1 second, Maureen.
And they want to know if that's all one price or those features add on.
Editing, it comes with your storage.
What about gallery, albums, tag, bulk organizer?
That all comes with your storage.
Okay.
Your only add-ons would be if you needed valet for more than 60 days, or you wanted to download your whole structure. People, if you wanted them to do the first, if you wanted them to auto, find your people versus manually. Video streaming,
yeah,
that's additional.
Yeah.
But with that, you can do monthly, yearly, lifetime, or you can download it. Like, they'll allow you to download. The beauty of Forever is you can upload and download as often as you like. You own it.
Yeah.
So you can upload and download all you want. Let me go into editing.
We have more questions. If I use the digitization service, how do I expect to see the photos not yet organized? Digital copies, email, archive?
Okay. So how the digitization center works is you would order a box and the box would arrive to your house. Now, if you wanted to organize your items ahead of time, let's say you had all your photos from, 1968. If you group them all together in an envelope and labeled it 1968, when they digitize it, they will create an album that says 1968 and put all those photos in there ahead of time. Like, so you can organize on the front end before you send it off, and however you put it in the box, that's how they'll put it in your account. So they will do that.
All right.
Videotapes. If you label your videotapes, when they go into your account, the videotape will have that name on it. So you will know what video it is.
Does it allow for a macro example, have a standard copyright to apply over time? I'm not sure I understand that.
I don't understand that question, so I'm not comfortable answering that because I don't know the,
Bill. If you had a bunch of photos from Memory Web to upload to a current Forever account, would you need valet?
You don't need valet. Valet just makes it easy, but you don't need it. You can go, if you go to your Forever account and you go to the upper right-hand corner and you hit upload, it'll say select file and it will bring them all in.
But if you use valet, it maintains your file structure.
Right. Right. So if you had all of them in a folder and you had it labeled Maureen Taylor, speaking engagements, and you use valet, it's going to go into Forever, Maureen Taylor speaking engagements. It will make the album for you.
If you just photos were that organized, Tammy. They're not a family photo. They're not that important.
But I mean, I can go into Forever and hit upload file and pick the ones that I want, upload them, put them in an album, Yes, you do not need valet to upload to Forever. I'm just saying it's a nice feature to have.
All right, couple more questions. When creating a new photo, is it creating a completely new photo or keeping track of changes?
Oh, when you edit?
Yeah. When you edit it, you said it creates a new photo.
So when you edit, so you have your original, and then the edit photo that you edit will say copy. So you know that that's the copy, not the original.
Okay. In the bulk edit, can I create a repetitive action?
I'm not sure what she means by that, or he means by that.
Yeah, Bill, you're ahead of us here. All right, we're gonna go to the next slide.
I'm saying go try it out. Like,
yeah,
have fun with it. I mean, you can't, like, you have nothing to lose. Like, it's a beautiful thing.
So while I did a video on Forever and I did a video on Permanent, so while it doesn't necessarily read, and Amanda's saying that Permanent has SFTP, which is similar to Valet and allows you to bulk upload your collection as they're organized. That's great. I didn't know that, Amanda. What was I going to say? Oh, what on my head? And then William has a question. How likely will Forever be in business 35 years from now and offering the same services as today? No one knows. No one knows, Bill.
I'm going to say it to this. Forever has the guaranteed fund. I mean, I would go read the terms and services. But if you have somebody that could not find something and is an entrepreneur like Glenn Meekum, a Harvard business guy running this company, and he spent the time moving his stuff into Forever because he wanted it for his family and guaranteed for a lifetime plus 100 years, I'm pretty sure we're stable. But, you know.
Who knows? Yeah, but who knows with any company?
Right. But I'm just saying, I'm going to go with somebody that says I'm guaranteed. I mean, that's.
And that's what Permanent does as well. Permanent is saying we have a fund. It's invested. It's backed up. All right, let's go to the next slide. We got to get through these. We have another person coming on.
Okay, yeah, because we got it. Like, we're gonna move quickly. So again, once you have your items in Forever, you can easily share a link. You can share it with anybody. You can also set your albums to be private. Let's say you have an album for a group, a genealogical group. You can set it to be public, so when they search for it, they can find it. Connections, those are, you want people to see certain albums. So if you and I were working, I would want you to see a certain album. I would set the album up. I would connect with you, and you would be able to come in and see just that album. So I would allow you to see albums. If you have groups, you can set it up for groups to see an album. Next slide.
Yeah, Amanda, somebody has a question for you in the YouTube thing. What time Friday will the weekly calls be?
Okay, so if you want to try Forever, you're going to get 2 gigabytes of free storage right off the bat. You get 2 gigabytes. You're going to get a $20 welcome coupon. So if you want to try out 10 gigabytes of storage, you got $20. You're going to get your mobile app. You get that. So you can upload from your phone easily to Forever, and you can, work on your Forever account with your mobile app. You get your online platform if you want to do photo books. You are also with Forever, you are getting a digitization center. You're getting, we have genealogy research. We have a genealogist that helps with research if anybody wants to do that. We offer events. We just did an event with Carrie and Katie, which was amazing. So they do events. You get video. You can upload your videos. You can upload your PDFs. What am I forgetting? Like Forever has name something that I'm forgetting.
I don't know. I'm going to go to the next slide though. I did a QR code. I know. So you can go directly to sign up for your free Forever account. So why did I have Permanent and Forever on this roundtable? One, because you get free storage. You can try both of them. You can use both of them. I mean, it's important to be able to do that. And it's important for all of us to test and find the platform that we're most comfortable with. So you can just put your camera up to that on your phone. And
here's the other thing that Forever has to offer. Forever has amazing, and I mean amazing, client care. And so you can call 1-800, the 800 number for support. You can email support@forever.com. But the other thing is I'm an ambassador with Forever. And so you would get me. Like if you chose me as your ambassador, you could text me, email me, call me. We could Zoom. I would help you with your questions. I can help you with your setup. I can help you with your digitization box. I help you every step of the way. So you're never alone. You're never having to figure this out by yourself.
Okay.
That's the beauty of it.
All right. I'm going to, so Rick Boy is up next. Rick, I can't really see you. I don't think you have your camera on, but I'm going to call, Amanda's still here. So I'm going to put Amanda back in, and the Forever pricing. Somebody had a question about that, Tammy.
It's really based on what your needs are. It really honestly is based on what your needs are. Like I would say email me or call me and I will help you figure out like the best possible solution for you, because it really is based on your needs.
All right. So right now we have Amanda from Permanent and Tammy from Forever on. I'm about to bring Rick onto the stage. Rick?
Here.
There you go. So here's the thing. Okay. So Forever doesn't really read all the memory web metadata, and Permanent doesn't read all the memory web metadata. But guess what product does read all the metadata that's in your memory web files? I was so surprised. I mean, Bridge, of course, Mac Preview, and Vivid-Pix Restore had it all. And I was like, what? You're not even an organizer. So I'm thinking, Tammy and Amanda, that I'm hoping, I haven't tested this, too many tests. I've done too many tests, that you could copy and paste the metadata into your programs. Do you think that would work?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So then you're not starting. I mean, is it going to be horrible? Yes. To do like 16,000 photos. Yeah, it's going to be painful. Really painful. Unless you can do bulk. Can you do bulk?
That I don't know.
That is one of the features that we're working on, is bulk metadata ingesting and downloading.
That would be great. Mm-hmm. That would be great.
I will get up with, I find some more information out on this, Maureen, once I talk to Forever. I talk to Nathan and we find out more. What I would really like to know is what is the top metadata that you really want to see at that surface level? Like,
so I would recommend, Tammy, I would recommend, and that's the purpose of savemetadata.org. And I don't know what Maureen covered in the first half an hour, but we went through, pardon?
That's what I covered.
Perfect.
Go ahead.
So we did, we went through years. It took us literally 2 years to go through population, EXIF, IPTC, Dublin Core, all the different metadata ways, and then which were the most important ones for family history specifically, so that we could drop the information into the right fields for the portability, so that it is able to go from platform to platform. So that, and it's a short list, and I can share that here, as well. It's like 10 fields, but it's like those 10 fields.
Yeah, it's what I sent you, Tammy. It's like, okay. But Rick I'm the past chair. Rick is the current chair of Save Metadata, and so he can send. I mean, Amanda has it because Robert was part of the committee.
Absolutely.
But Tammy, don't expect an email. Expect an email. And I just want to repeat again, because Rick wasn't here. Rick and I did work on a letter today for metadata action. What are the 10 fields, Rick? Do we know those off the top of our head?
Sure.
Location.
Go for it.
People.
Got it.
Description. Date. File name. Album. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm missing 4.
Location is coming to Forever. Just so you know, we're working on that.
On
So
what?
location will be on the surface when you go to your Lightbox in Forever. They are working on that.
So that's, what am I missing, Rick? Location, people, description, date, file name, album, keyword.
Yeah, I'm actually.
Those are the basic ones. Those are the ones
So it's total description, date, location, names and geotags, people.
Yes.
And then in the GitHub for those tech people, let me share my field because you're asking. Thank you for asking the question.
Yeah, good question.
Yeah. So I'm going to share. Am I allowed to share?
I believe you. Hold on, I'm just putting that into the thing. You should be able to share, Rick. Do you know how to share?
Yep.
Now, Amanda and Tammy, do you want to stay for this or you want to go? It's up to you.
I actually do have to hop off, but I wanted to mention, as you know, Maureen, I think Permanent has those fields covered, the 10, but we also have custom metadata fields that allow you to create your own values and key, like your own key and your own values. So if you wanted to add something like surname as a metadata field, or something like very specific to your collections, that's something that's available on Permanent. So,
and you guys are working on the export feature.
We are, yes.
That has to be pretty close to the top, I hope.
Yeah, definitely.
Reading and exporting.
Send us your letters.
Yeah, we have these letters that I can't share. I can share the PDF in Facebook, I believe, but I can't share it in YouTube. So if somebody wants that letter so you can send it to your company of choice, with Rick and I talking about why metadata is so important, and then you can sign it, email me at photodetective@maureentaylor.com, and I'm happy to send it to you. It's super easy just for me to put it in an email. I mean, after the emails I've gotten in the last couple of weeks, this is nothing.
Copyright is a really great question too.
Copyright is one of the items as well.
Yeah. That was 8. We're just missing 2.
Yeah.
Rating, image rating, which is very common within professional photography world, that you're able to rate them. So as I was starting to say, and as I did share there. So first off, Amanda, don't leave.
Oh,
okay.
Oh, she's good. Oh,
I'm
she's
back.
back.
Good. Okay. So as I was starting to share there, this is a project that a number of us have been working on for, Maureen and I were going back and forth a little bit earlier.
Long time.
Like 8 years, 7-8 years. So, and Permanent was a part, Family Search was a part, Memory Web was a part, Maureen was a part, I was a part, File Shadow was a part, Myleo came in recently, others. And so what we really strived to do was to be able to look across all these platforms and to say, what is it that A, the individuals need, you as family historians, and then B, what are the pieces that business should be providing, understanding business models. And business models is something that plays into this, right? Because if you are able to retain a customer because there is database benefit for requiring someone to stay in that architecture, that's a business decision. However, if you're able to create the Rosetta Stone, for lack of a better word, and that Rosetta Stone allows the portability of these top items, so I can continue to keep a great product. Everyone should be with my platform, and I don't have a platform like that, but any one of the larger online areas, that's one business opportunity. The other, though, is I want to be able to know I've got access to the information that I've spent hours, weeks, years. And if I decide to bring it down into my local computer or have a duplicate storage or leave, all of it comes back to me. And that's what we built with Save Metadata. So companies have been involved with it. Permanent. Tammy, I look forward to, if you're coming out to Roots Tech, I'll see you there next week.
Forever we'll be out at Roots Tech. We'll make sure somebody comes and sees you, Rick.
Well, and by the way, I met, we've both been in business for 2012, and it was actually an IPI, not an IPI, a photo conference in Atlanta. So we've been around the same amount of time. So you have a wonderful company. I love Forever. You guys are doing cool stuff.
I want to thank, I know Amanda has to leave, and probably Tammy will have to leave at some point, but Amanda, I want to thank you very much for participating in this roundtable, and Tammy as well. I wasn't sure how this would work as a platform, but I'm loving every minute of it. And so are the people that are in the audience, because this gives them a chance to ask you the questions that they have on their mind. And it saves me some email.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. And yeah, I look forward to hopefully seeing some folks in the Legacy Lab next week.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to drop Amanda off.
Let's get into Restore so you can read all this stuff.
Right. So, Tammy, I'm going to put you in the waiting room again if you want to stay.
That.
And if you
yeah,
want to
hang out.
Just wave at me.
And I'll hang out. I'll hang out.
Cool.
All right, Rick.
Bill, I know you from all the communications. I don't really know you, so I know you're going to put me to my tests.
Yeah.
So Maureen, if you could, I sent you a link.
Yep.
And if you could open that up.
Hold on. We haven't done that yet today. Give me a minute.
Cool. And by the way, I'm Rick Voigt. Been in the photo industry for 40 years. Spent a bunch of years at Kodak and a 1-year non-compete. Went to work for HP, helped spin up a division. Quit HP, went to work with a friend of mine. We spun up a company that helps body mass index, vision screening, blood pressure. If you go into any Walmart stores in their pharmacy, there's a blue and white kiosk. That was it. And once you taste entrepreneurship, the idea of going back to big company is awfully, awfully hard to think about. So Randy and I knew each other at Kodak. Randy and I are the co-founders of Vivid-Pix. And we've been around for over a dozen years now. And so what we have set out to do with our first product, fixed underwater photos. That's where we started as a company. The industry said, are you interested? Can you fix old photos? And Randy and I are photo guys. So Randy literally with Kodak holds over 150 patents in digital imaging science. We Vivid-Pix hold 2 full software patents for image improvement. We've applied for our 3rd patent with Memory Station. So the reason I thought it would be helpful to Picture Says 1,000 Words, right? On our education page, so navigating Vivid-Pix, and across the top navigation bar says education. We're now at the education tab. That top blue button where it says Vivid-Pix software tutorials on the page.
Oh, right here.
Yep.
Want me to click that?
Please. So we have Memory Station software tutorials, we have Restore, and we have Scuba, where we started as a company. So if you click Restore, please, in the middle. So the story behind Restore metadata is that I was doing a presentation at Allen County Public Library. One of the questions from the audience was metadata. What is it? Why would I want to use it? How would I use it? So I ended up calling up a friend of mine. I used to work with Kodak, who actually was responsible for printing all of our money with the federal government. He was actually at NARA. He was in the photo finishing world with me at Kodak. He wrote me a beautiful white paper on this is how you would implement metadata, and that was even with NARA standards. So if you scroll down on here, I think it's the 3rd one down on the right.
I recognize one of these documents.
You might. I think there's a father in there.
Yeah, my dad's in one of those. Yeah.
Exactly.
This one here, restore, zoom, transcribe, add metadata.
Yep. So we're gonna watch a 3-minute video here, and then we're gonna watch a 3-minute video below it.
This tutorial covers Vivid-Pix Restore's Zoom Transcribe and View Edit Metadata features. Family history records, letters, and documents are often faded and difficult to read. These documents are extremely important as they provide the information necessary for genealogy. Vivid-Pix Restore software improves clarity and legibility. In addition, documents are often transcribed to provide on-computer or online searchability. Restore provides easy-to-use features to accomplish all of this in just a few clicks. You can choose to use all, a few, or none of these features. First, let's select an image. This is a marriage record. As you can see, this is quite faded and difficult to read. Restore uses artificial intelligence to analyze the image and adjusts color, contrast, lightness, and sharpness. Simply select which of the 9 images looks best to you. On this 2-up side-by-side screen, you can see how much easier it is to read the details of this record. By clicking the Zoom Transcribe button, we open up a window that allows you to notate important information. You can zoom in and adjust the image to make it easier to read. There are various ways to do this, and instructions are right here in the bottom right. I'm going to look at this portion. I note that this marriage is between Otterson Murphy and Ella Amison. I'm able to transcribe or make note of this on the right side of the screen. This information is saved into the comments section of the image's metadata. Metadata can be a confusing word. I think about it as being the digital way to write on the back of photos or in the margins of documents. With Restore, simply click on the View Edit Metadata button and type. The View Edit Metadata button is only displayed when an image has been selected. Restore meets international metadata standards. You are able to make notes about your photos or documents, and your information will be saved into the fixed image. For example, title, marriage bond. Author, Rick Voigt. In the comments section, note that the information we typed in the Zoom Transcribe section is shown in the comments section, and I can add more. Tags. The tag section is used for typing in keywords that you may want to search for in the future. For instance, Otterson, Murphy, Otterson Murphy, Ella, Amison, Ella Amison. Using the comma to separate different search words or multiple words. Copyright, if there's a copyright, and rating the image. So with just a couple of clicks, I fixed the image quality, added metadata, can now search my computer for keywords when wanting to pull up this file in the future, and I saved all my changes into the fixed image. Give your pics and documents the Vivid-Pix fix.
So why was it possible for you to be able to download MemoryWeb Other? Well, we've been doing this literally for 6 or 7 years, and more than that, 7 or 8 years. And so with 6 or 7 years. And so with that, we're saving the metadata directly into the image file, and we're expecting to have information within certain file areas in order for us to be able to read that information, or lots more EXIF IPTC information within the metadata fields that is resident within image files. The video that we just watched was an old video. So here, while we're together, I can share the additional fields that Restore now does. But let's watch the next video here, because it gets into some of the personal stuff that you're able to share as well.
This one, the metadata tutorial.
Yes, please.
The term metadata is kind of intimidating. I prefer to think of it as writing on the back of a photo or in the margin of a document. These notes allow future viewers to know more about the image, and you can even include what you were thinking about the people or subject. Adding metadata can be pretty difficult if you do it the computer way, but we made it really easy with Restore. Simply click the Add Metadata button and type in anything you want in the pop-up screen. This is a record from the 1940 census. It's of my grandparents, where I received my middle name from my grandfather, and my dad and his brother, when they were 5 and 2 years old, were also in the census. I heard stories when I was growing up from my dad about my grandfather, but I never met him. He died before I was born, so when I found this document, I really felt like I found him. Well, my daughter doesn't know all this, and by adding metadata, I can add my notes to the image, and all of those notes are saved with a fixed pick. The history of this digital image is saved, as well as the information I just added. Just click Show All Metadata Values. By the way, metadata is really helpful when you're searching for things in the future. Give your pics and documents the Vivid-Pix fix.
So what I love about that video, so if you just unshare for a second, please. What I love about that story is that my grandfather on my father's side, Irwin, E with an E is my middle name. And in the 1940 census, when I found that census, they spelled it with an I instead of an E. And all of a sudden, his name changed from a historical perspective, but it's an E. But I found where it happened. So that's one of those really important things within our family history community, right? And notating that. And here within the metadata, I've been able to identify exactly where that occurred. So, so I'll share one more thing, and I'll do so by pulling up our software. I'm going to pull it up if I could.
Oh, you're going to do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to share software.
I'm going to sit back and relax.
There you go. Okay, so it's my little girl. You are seeing my screen, right?
Yeah, hold on. I'll add it for you. There you go.
Thank you. So that's my little girl when she became a major, by the way. I'd already had it open, my bad. Okay, so I'm going to grab just an old document. And faded printer slide. We've added additional feature since that video was done, which was no image correction, add metadata only. I can fix it. I can make, so much more legible. If I want to fine tune it, just lighten it up a smidge, I can do that. I go into the view, edit metadata, and here's the additional fields that we've added. So we have title, we have author, comments, we have tags, copyright, rate it, people, sublocation, that was a new one. So and I'm going to save that. So here in the output area, I can start organization. I could put things into new file folders, and I can name that anything I want. So I can make this be, I should do this. And and I save. So over here, it's keeping track of the location, or excuse me, in the queue. So it's processing the image, it's dropping the metadata in, blah, blah, blah.
We have a question for you, Rick.
Go.
From Bill.
Go, Bill.
Are there data quality edits on the location fields to ensure you put actual city, state, province?
We do not check that.
Right. So there's no mapping integration coming into the future with GPS coordinates.
Great question. So within the metadata, standards of Save Metadata, there are standards there for GPS as well as non-GPS. We defined the standards as being what are the minimum requirements, for lack of a better word, and what are add-on opportunities. We Vivid-Pix, we're not doing GPS. One of the add-on opportunities is to bring in the GPS. There are benefits and detriments of both. Think about borders changing. So you could be GPS helpful and then also helpful. So I'll just leave it at that. We Vivid-Pix are not doing that yet, answering your question, Bill. So good question. So now I'm just going to go into, so I pulled that image. So within my pictures folder, I have this big bunch of photos that I test with, which is, so by the way, Restore will manage most raw files from most camera manufacturers, all the lossless files, so PNG, DNG, BMP, and then all the different RAWs, JPEGs, TIFFs, blah, blah, blah. So I created this folder metadata. And here I'm able to right click and I'm able to look at the properties, and then I'm able to look at details. And this is kind of the reason why we can read everyone's is that we're keeping track of the most prominent metadata fields, and then we're also using the Save Metadata standards as well as EXIF and IPTC standards for us to be putting everything in the right place as well. And then here we've actually got the XMP data, so all of that is also available to you. So that's, Restore. I'm obviously extremely pleased that that we tested well. We tested a bunch too before it gets out to Maureen to put us through our paces. I'm glad we tested well.
So Vivid-Pix holds picture files? No.
No, it's a great question. So Vivid-Pix is desktop software. So we are not a cloud solution. So you download the software, Restore specifically. So Restore works on Windows and Mac computers. You're able to interface with your images on your computer, and all of the images that you fix, you are saving on your local computer. Then you're able to do whatever you want with them.
With image files only, it's not docs or PDFs. Bill has a question. Could you show those window properties again? We had questions about it earlier. He wants to see if you can expand that window to show more of them.
Sure. Let me go back to that. Which one? The Microsoft one or the Vivid-Pix Restore one?
I think it's the Microsoft one. Microsoft one, Bill? Takes a minute. Get the comments. Tammy, how you doing in the waiting room?
Microsoft.
Oh. Microsoft.
Yeah. So that's it.
Yeah, we did have questions about that, but I'm a Mac user, so we got nowhere with that.
Okay, so properties. Oops. Those are the details that Microsoft has within its detail. Oh, sorry. So these are the items that I just put in.
All right, hold on. I'm going to add it to the stage.
Okay.
All right. We can't really make that any bigger, Bill.
Yeah, it's just a pop-up within.
Yeah, it's a pop-up. Yeah.
And then it has, 600 DPI.
Yeah, you can click on an individual field to change it, right?
Correct. But
Yeah.
that's within Windows.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Does anybody have any? I did share it. It just there's a delay, Bill. So does anybody have any more questions for Rick? Oh, Cami, I added you to the. I clicked. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
I'm a little punch drunk from almost 2 hours, more than 2 hours online.
It's okay.
Rick, what's the latest on your plans to be able to import PDF files?
Yeah, good question. So when we do what we do, we'll blow you away. But right now, it's not the first priority.
Okay. Does Vivid-Pix deal? No, we don't do, no PDFs, just image files. Any other questions for Rick and for Tammy while we have them? And I really enjoyed this roundtable format. I just have to think of some more to do. If you have Vivid-Pix on a PC but also have a Mac, do you need separate software or share it?
So Restore, when we sell a license, we're really reasonably priced. We sell for $50 regularly. We're on sale for Roots Tech Special through March. Maureen can provide you a discount code for $40. We sell software the old-fashioned way. I remember the time I used to walk into CompUSA or Circuit City using those two names specifically, since neither one of them are around anymore. I pulled a box off the shelf. I plugged in my 3.5-inch drive and I owned the software. So that's kind of how we sell software today. Is that, but we give free updates. So like Restore, it's been around for 8 years. So we added metadata. We added tons of different stuff. You're able to install on 2 computers. Back to your question, we don't care if you do one Mac or one Windows. Doesn't matter to us, or do Windows, Mac. You're able to install on 2 computers. Our philosophy is that you have a desktop computer and you have a laptop computer oftentimes. Obviously, sometimes drives crash. In fact, I had a drive crash yesterday. So at that time, you send a note to support@vividpix.com. We activate another code for you. We keep track of people who are gaming us. Most people don't. So we just give you another license and you're off to the races.
So I mentioned that this Sunday on the Photo Detective podcast, it's an interview, a conversation with Rick that we had maybe a month ago. And we were talking about the demise of File Shadow, not knowing that Memory Web was going to do the same thing. So bear that in mind when you listen to it, but it's available on all your podcast stations and available on my website. Also, I did mention earlier, if you want to get on my mailing list, you should, because that's where I announce all kinds of things. Let's see if I can find it. Here we go. Use the QR code, just point your phone at it, and you'll be able to go over and sign up if you're not already on the list. Because I am reworking my digital photo organizing class because I have to update it. I had to update all the slides. I had to take out Memory Web, I had to take out File Shadow, I had to take out a bunch of stuff and put new stuff in. So that's what you could do to help me out. It's my way of communicating. I'm also on Substack and all social media at Photo Detective. I want to thank you so much. We have been on live for 2 hours and like 4 minutes.
And your head's exploding. Those people in the comments.
Screen time limit, Rick.
I know you do. So those people in the comments. To people in the comments, I'd be remiss not to say thank you for the kind words, and obviously for people who have been with us for so long. Thank you.
Yeah, and Tammy, we had a lot of interest in Forever as well. You've got great name recognition. Permanent. I'm not sure if many people are aware of what Permanent is or does, so it was nice to have them too. So
it was very nice to hear all of this, and I'm happy to help anybody. So if they have trouble getting my contact, you would be happy to share that with them, right, Maureen?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. And the newsletter, I think you weren't here for that. We're sending out a newsletter on Friday. We're going to try to incorporate everything, links, and all the basic information that you need to contact people. And we're going to somehow share this letter that Rick and I worked on. I don't know how, but I'm going to work on it. If not, email me. All right. Thank you all very much.
Thanks, Maureen.
Send me ideas for another roundtable. And by the way, if you need photo identification, I'm still here.
All right. Take care.
All right. Bye.
See you, kids. Bye-bye.